Karachi spreads across the consciousness slowly, always too big for the mind to absorb. You can rush past a neighborhood, vainly attempt to spot the restaurants a friend tells you are part of a local chain, and then drive past the next, and pass an hour like this before you realize that you are still inside an unending city. We drove a long time in silence through increasingly dilapidated areas. By the roadside, specters picked through fetid rivers of trash cascading down a hill from some abandoned railroad tracks. Men with no hope in their faces rode in black-belching motorcycles past the immaculate form of the TCF school, a beacon towering above the concrete hovels. The rank odor of trash hit us like a punch to the face immediately upon exiting our car. We breathed a sigh of relief as soon as we entered the school.
We usually do a thing at the beginning where we all just walk around with our instruments and have them play them, and that's been wonderful. That's usually my favorite part, really, is because we go and we do the left hand and make some chords, and they pluck it, and so we're making music together. You know, and that's what this would be all about. Like, can we plant a seed of curiosity or interest?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming and welcoming us to your beautiful school.
I always worry that, like, sort of being up on a stage and performing, there's going to be a sort of disconnect. It's nerve-wracking at first because it's like this gigantic group of people. It's like, how are we going to reach out to this amount of people? But actually, each time I've been really reassured in, like, the power of eye contact and the power of like a smile at the right time.
We would like to suggest that even this, just making fun things can be making music. You don't need to necessarily have an instrument or to be singing to be making music. This can all be music. As you walk to school, or come to school, however you get to school, you probably hear a lot of sounds all around you. And so we want to see if we can think of those sounds even as music as well. So does anybody want to volunteer and just say some of the sounds they hear as they come to school? Crows. Okay, so now let's see if we can get some of our friends who play musical instruments to make sounds like crows. We'll make a little crow song. Does that sound like a crow? Is that a crow? Is it good? Okay, does anyone else have another sound they hear as they go to school?
Meow.
Let's hear if a sitar can make a sound like a cat. Okay, and now we're gonna have Lena on the tabla play a sound that's inspired by a sound we hear in our everyday lives. And we're gonna see if you can guess what that sound is. Yes.
I think being culturally sensitive through the way that you dress is very important. And I think that people do look at you differently if you show that you care enough about their culture to respect it, try and integrate into it.
Sometimes used to play with is called the bow. So the white part of the bow is actually made of horse's hair. And when I pull it across the strings, it makes a loud sound.
I play something that's like the violin. This is actually called a viola. And viola is a little bit bigger than the violin, and it sounds a little bit lower. The viola sounds really low.
अब ये है कि सितार की मैं आपको एग्जांपल ऐसे देता हूँ कि मैं एक मेलोडी कोई भी बजाता हूँ, आप लोगों ने पहचान ली वो कौन सी है.
The four of us from Cultures in Harmony will have to repeat whatever Wakas comes up with. So we hope he's nice to us.
I don't know the exact statistic, but it was floating out there somewhere that 60% of Pakistanis don't like Americans. I hear a statistic like that and I get somewhat excited because I think an ethos of resistance is a really positive part of Pakistan. I wouldn't want my message here to be like, oh, Americans are all nice guys. Don't worry about America, let them do whatever they want to do. In Pakistan, you know, it's all okay. It's like, no, having a sense of resistance to that because America is you know, usually comes in this sort of dominating way. And I think resisting that is extremely important for the livelihood of the world. We all suffer if America is always a dominating force. I mean, like just the vitality of our humanity suffers.